Quitting smoking cigarettes and drinking alcohol are supposed to be two of the most difficult and challenging undertakings that you can attempt. This is a myth. I'm here to tell you that it can be very easy to bin these two destructive and harmful habits, at least that is if you go about it the right way. I'm a firm believer in providing value as soon as possible in a YouTube video, so I'm going to tell you straight away how I did it. I read 2 books by the same author, Alan Carr. The first book was called Stop Smoking Now the Easy Way, and the second book was called Alan Carr's Easy Way to Control Alcohol. Literally the most important books that I have ever read and probably ever will read. They led me away from a life of slavery to my addictions towards a life of freedom and control. And the titles are not a lie. It was super easy to quit both smoking and drinking, like insultingly easy. So easy that it makes me angry. Angry at the people in the media, angry at the so-called medical experts who perpetuate this myth that it's painful and difficult to stop smoking or drinking, and they advise the complete wrong way to go about it. Before I explain this revolutionary method in a bit more detail, let me give you a short bio on the genius who came up with it. Alan Carr was a successful accountant from England and a self-confessed chain smoker. By his own admission, the first thing he'd do when he woke up, before he even put on a stitch of clothing, was to light a ciggy and stuff it into his mouth. And a cigarette would be dangling there between his lips from that moment until the moment that he went to bed. He was getting through about 100 snouts a day. Several trying and excruciating attempts to quit had led to failure, leading him to believe that he would never be able to pack it in, and that he would be doomed to the agony of smoking for the rest of his life. That was until 2 key things happened. The first was a visit to a hypnotist who made him realise that he was just a nicotine addict, among other things, and the second was to learn several things about the key nature of nicotine and how it acts on the body. This allowed him to construct his Easy Way method and make the bold claim to his wife that his new purpose in life was to cure the world of smoking. While he unfortunately didn't manage that, he has helped millions of people to quit without fuss or pain with his books and subsequently his clinics. After this, he successfully turned his attention to adapting his method to other addictions like gambling and alcohol. So what makes his technique so unique and groundbreaking? Let me give you a quick rundown of the key points. First thing that will strike you while delving into one of Carr's books is his insistence that you don't try to quit or cut down your intake while reading. That means if you were smoking 40 a day before or drinking 10 pints a night, you don't change your behaviour at all, at least not in the beginning. This is key, as one of his main realizations is that much of an addict's behaviour is unconscious when it comes to their addictions, which means that a large part of his books are dedicated towards making you become more mindful and present when you are smoking and drinking, so you can awaken yourself to their true nature and see exactly what benefits they're given to you, which are precisely zero. And it's impossible to do this if you've already tried to stop or cut down on the habit with willpower. Speaking of willpower, that's the second thing that sets Alan Carr's Easy Way apart, his claim that no willpower at all is required to quit. This is a quite sensational claim, given the fact that multi-million-dollar industries have sprung up predicated on the fact that cigarettes and alcohol are 2 of the habits hardest to quit known to mankind, and a tremendous amount of strength and willpower are required to do so. Alan Carr didn't agree, and I'm here to tell you that if you follow the advice in his books precisely, then quitting will be both easy and enjoyable. The main thing to know about any attempts to quit using willpower is that they're almost certainly doomed to fail, because the very act of having to use your will means that you believe you're depriving yourself of something, that you still attach some joy or pleasure to the thing, to the cigarette, to the alcohol, to the cake, to whatever. Only once you have seen your addiction for what it truly is and you removed any desire you have to do it, then you'll be able to quit once and for all, with no internal struggle or mental anguish. So how does he do this? Well, he attacks and dismantles what he refers to as the brainwashing. These are a collection of lies which are first fed to us by society and those around us, which we then start telling to ourselves and others. Things like, it tastes good, it relaxes me, it calms me down when I'm angry, or it's my one small pleasure in life, or it gives me courage, so on and so forth. These are the real reasons why we don't quit. If we even marginally, minutely believe just one of these brainwashes, we will never be able to quit. And even if we do manage to stop for a period of time, we'll never be completely free and will always maintain some degree of mental struggle around the drink or the cigarette. The next radical rule that Alan has is that you don't replace the drug with anything. That means with cigarettes you don't use patches or gums or any of that nonsense. Carr argues that the very nature of addictive substances is to want more of them over time, not less. So if you're still putting nicotine in your body, even if it's not by inhaling and burning plant matter, you're still under its spell, you're still in its trap, and you'll never truly be free. Once you've read the book and dismantled all the brainwashing, you'll get to the point where you smoke your final smoke. drink your final drink. Alan encourages you to make a ritual of this moment, to inhale the smoke deeply into your lungs, to reaffirm that it gives absolutely nothing to you and only takes and takes and takes. You then make a solemn vow to yourself that you will never smoke or drink again, and that's it. As soon as you extinguish that final cigarette, you're free. You're a non-smoker. Or as soon as you drain that last glass of vile poison, you're free. You're a non-drinker. Now, in the weeks after this final smoke or drink, you are naturally going to think about smoking or drinking a lot. Carr encourages you to embrace these moments with positivity. Whenever you think about smoking or drinking or get an urge, you just say to yourself with a smile, "Whoa, I'm free. I don't have to do that anymore." Or, "Isn't it great that I'm no longer a slave to that horrible habit?" Or something else which you make up yourself, which is real to you, which will affect you. Now, this may seem corny, but in my opinion, this is the most important part of the procedure, as after a week or two of doing this, every time you think about it, every time you get an urge or a craving, then you just stop thinking about it. You don't get the cravings or urge anymore. It's like magic. And once you don't think about it anymore, you've already removed the desire, so you are a non-smoker, you are a non-drinker. You've been cured of the problem. If you struggle with smoking or drinking and have tried to quit the usual way before and failed and feel helpless or hopeless or that you'll never be able to do it, then I can't recommend highly enough these books by the genius which is Alan Carr. They've truly changed my life, and this is one of the main aims of my channel, to spread the word of how easy it can be to rid yourself of destructive and addictive habits if you just go about it the right way.